All right, guys, welcome in today to Mr. Shuey's art class. Today we got a little art history for you guys. One of my favorite projects is pointillism. So we got pointillism. Sometimes people call it dot art because you're actually dotting the art that you're doing and creating your textures and shapes and variety of colors with the actual pointillism and dot art. Probably one of the most famous dot artist or pointillism artist is George Seurat, which I'll put a picture up so you actually see the picture. It is Walk in the Park, and I've actually seen this picture in Chicago Art Museum. Very, very cool picture. It's cool because the closer that you kind of get into the picture, you can actually start to see some of those dots really, really precise that he did with painting. But you can do it with paint, with oil pastels, with crayons, but today we're gonna use markers. So the only supplies that you need today is a pencil and markers, and obviously a sheet of paper. What I give my kids is two options. I give my kids an option of either a tree or a flower, but really you could do this almost anything, any coloring book kind of picture that you kind of create, whatever that you want to do, and then you just fill it in with dots. A couple examples would be something like this. So the actual dots kind of create the colors and the arts and the designs. You know, from a distance, it just looks like filled in colors, but the closer and closer that you get to each of these, you can kind of see all the intricate work and details that these students, you know, put into them. Some having a little bit more creative and variety in their work versus just kind of copying the picture that I give, but still super, super detailed. A lot of really, really cool stuff going on. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna take my paper and kind of fold it in half, and I'm gonna do one of each of the examples just to kind of show you. So we got the tree and the flower. Doesn't matter, boys or girls can do either or. Mr. Schutte still makes a really, really tough flower. Boys don't have to do the tree, girls don't have to do the flower. You can do either or. So I'm gonna set mine aside here, and I'm gonna do kind of one of each just to give you kind of a small little breakdown. Now normally, like I said, I would start out in pencil, doing it a little bit lightly and then going over to Sharpie, but just for your benefit so you guys can see it a little bit better today, I'm gonna start with the marker. So for my tree, I'm gonna do a tree on this side, so I would kind of curve it a little bit on the tree trunk, and then almost do kind of like my puffy cloud tree, almost like little W's or M's or E's. As you kind of go around, you can put some blades of grass on there going out if you want. Kind of, the more details, the better, I always say. I'll put a little squirrel kind of hole in there. Some people kind of add that branch that was in my example. So that would be the tree. Super easy and simple like that. Sometimes I always connect this on the bottom, just makes it separate from the tree trunk. For the flower, I'll make my vase maybe a little bit thinner on this. Usually I start about half the sheet of paper for the vase. Do kind of a nice curve design, and most vases are kind of symmetrical, meaning that they're the same on both sides. So whatever curve you do on this side or whatever design you do on one side, you kind of do on the other two. I always make kind of a curvy that matches that bottom on there. Then for flowers, maybe I'll do 1, 2, 3 on there. Your sheets of paper will probably be a little bit bigger, but I'll just start out with 3, but you can put 13 flowers if you really want to. I always try to remind kids to kind of fill in, and not so it's just one stem, that it's actually like two kind of stems, like a thickness, you know, almost like your finger thickness. And then I do a circle, 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 and then for each of those, I'll do kind of my little petals in there. These would be more like, I guess, daisy flowers, but you could do roses, you could do daffodils, whatever kind of flowers that you want to do. I just happen to be doing this one. So after you finish there, then you start thinking about what colors. Sometimes I make my kids do certain colors. Sometimes I give them the option to choose whichever. I think I'll do complementary colors because they're kind of opposite colors. So for my markers, one of the benefits to doing this project is you don't need super awesome markers. It can actually be used markers that don't work the best, but usually for the dots it still works really, really well. The main thing that I tell kids also is not to smush they're dots. I know it's kind of fun to do this dot project, but that kind of ruins the markers even worse and uses them up more and more. So as you start this, basically when you see some of the examples, you can see how they're just dotted. Now some kids actually dot almost in like a pattern or in some sort of line or texture. Some do a little bigger dots and smaller dots. Some people combine different scenes. Some people do almost like patterns with certain colors. I'm just gonna have a little fun, and I'm gonna do the middle of mine orange, but I'm gonna do so many that it actually looks like I just colored it in. So I did so many on there that it actually looks like I kind of just colored it in. Now maybe on the outside, maybe I want to do something a little bit different. So on this side, I'm doing almost just kind of lines on that. Do one more here. And then maybe I'd throw my other color in there and do some blue lines on each side of my orange. So again, basically you're just dotting, letting the marker just barely touch the paper and then removing it or kind of going back and forth. Maybe for like the vase down here, I'd have a bigger area. So then maybe I could do something a little bit more complicated. Maybe I'll do a kind of a cool little spiral in there. You know, I could even take the orange and either continue that or, you know, add something, you know, different in there. This is really where your creativity kind of comes. Use that imagination and use kind of your brain to kind of picture it before you do it. Now I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, so I kind of know what I'm doing. I have an idea, and just goes from there. Now you can keep the same colors, you can kind of switch it up with different colors. Like I said, I was using complementary, but you can throw some other colors in there. You can do colors kind of the same family, you know, like a purple and pink. Some people actually do writing, so maybe they would write, maybe for Mr. Shooty, we'd do like an S, almost like an S shape on here. And then you could fill that in with dots itself, you know, and make it kind of fun, you know, like that, and see if you like something like that. But really, your creativity can just go wild kind of on this problem. This is a good start to it. I always try to challenge students to use markers on the actual objects themselves, and then for the background, do some crayons. And there's really limitless and endless possibilities for the background. You can do dots with the crayons, you can almost do like circles, or you could even do like a circular pattern. Some kids have even taken their sheet of paper and colored with the circle, kind of with that motion of a circle with the crayon, and that looks kind of cool too. For the tree, you know, obviously trees have green in them, but trees also have brown, they have red, maybe some black, so you can mix all sorts of colors into there to kind of get you some variety. I always try to tell kids not just to use brown and green if they're doing trees. You know, if maybe you're doing a fall tree and maybe it has some oranges, some yellows in there, so you can mix some of that and make it almost like a fall tree too. So that's completely up to you guys. You guys are the ones that have way more creativity than me, so that's why I kind of let loose on this project, and it's definitely a fun, easy project that anybody, any age level, can do and enjoy. So thanks a lot. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, comment below on maybe your favorite part, or maybe things that you like about this video, or things that you didn't like, or things that I can improve on. I'm always looking for suggestions for new videos, so put that in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is the best way to get all my videos in your feed, emailed to you to let you know when they're coming out. I'm coming out with lots and lots of cool videos thanks to you guys. So thanks very much, and we'll see you later.